Hey, Jess.
Hey,
How are you, Jess?
oh, I agree.
Good evening. Call the meeting to order. May we have the clerk please read the meeting statement?
Adequate notice of this regular meeting.
Sorry.
Boy, I'll let you
Is it
know.
on the speaker?
Yeah, they're on.
Good.
Adequate notice of this regular meeting was provided to the public and the press on January 19th, 2025, and was posted at the municipal building in accordance with the Open Public Meeting Act, NJSA 10:4-7.
Thank you. You all please join with me and stand. Pledge to our flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Bushieri,
Can't hear you, Mark.
Councilmember Bushieri, Councilmember Di Benedetto,
Present.
Councilmember Higgins,
Here.
Councilmember Sparta,
Present.
President Rizzuto.
Here. This evening, we are pleased to have a number of people with us besides yourselves, one individual who is being, asked to come forward is, here with his parents and relatives. And, I happen to know the young man, for a long time. And I know the parents very well. Jack's mom was raised and helped raise my grandchildren, my three duckies, as she calls them, from when they were born. They were born prematurely, and you could carry all three of them in your hand at the same time. Now they're kind of big for that, but they still remember Sissy. They always ask about Sissy, and Sissy has that type of engaging personality, and people who love her remember her. But the mayor asked to introduce Jack because of her presentation and because of the fact that Jack had been awarded Scouting's highest honor, becoming an Eagle Scout. And I was proud to be part of the Eagle, not the Court of Honor, but I was at the ceremony for it. And it was really wonderful to be able to see a young man honored and for the work that he did. And I know Jack for a long time, and I've seen his progress, and his dad and I often talk about him because I see him near here at the town hall. And occasionally I run into Sissy at the store, and we always reflect on what was. So I asked the mayor to please, take the floor and make his presentation.
Thank you, Council President. Some people may or may not know, Jim Schmick works in our DPW. And I think it was a holiday party, or maybe it was for Ed Beckhock. You started to talk to me about your son and his achievements and his book that he has now published. I got a copy of this book, and I didn't tell Jim I did, and I wanted to read it first before I talk about it. I did talk about it on a Facebook video. I have to say, people who know me, like, I don't tear often, but I shed a couple of tears in here, and the life that you had, I want to say you had, it was a hard life. I know he lost his biological mother His dad is, and like, this is all stuff that's in the book, by the way. His dad serving a lengthy prison sentence. And Jim and Rita have adopted him. One of the things that, some of the things that I see, first off, an Eagle Scout just tells you one thing about an individual. It tells you who he is, who his character is. One of the things that, I mean, some of the quotes, and this is why it's so inspirational to hear such a young man with quotes like this. Bear with me. I just want to read some of these out real quick. Success is a lonesome journey. And that, I couldn't say how true that is so true. Your daily attitude affects performance. Trust is the drawn out process of progress. Mental toughness dictating your limit. And I just do. And before I go on, I did troll your Facebook, by the way. And some of the comments posted he's made, it just moves you even more. Not every move is forward, but every move has meaning. Keep dancing. Love it. God doesn't recruit the flawless, he redeems the fallen. I would like Jack and his parents, his family, to please join me up here for a moment. Now, I know as being a stepfather, one time myself, the challenges that it has. Being a parent, whoever's a parent here would know that raising children is not an easy task. And I know sometimes mom and dad can, sometimes maybe drive me nuts.
Sometimes.
I know there's something in the book about mom making a comment, and you also did your share of running away, right?
Yeah.
And it's funny because comments like, and I know the frustration as a parent. A little quick story. My daughter, who's done the greatest thing is the greatest accomplishment is when you succeed, right? That's the biggest reward. But growing up, you always have these challenges, and sometimes you bite your thumb and you want to give up maybe a crack here and there. But my daughter, she drove me so nuts one time. I sent a text message, which I thought maybe was to her mother, and I said, "Oh, I've had her, so I'm going to kill her." Well, I know that text message never went to who it was supposed to go to. It went to my daughter, Marissa. Dad's going to kill me, So, but you don't say, it's just, she's still alive today, everybody. Okay. But it's just, what it is it's just, raising kids and how your life and some of the things that you had to endure. And here you are today. And your dad has also told me that you were looking to join the state troopers.
Yes.
Okay. I know you've met with Chief Dan Young.
Yes.
And I will tell you, he said he was very impressed. We do have Officer Ambulance, loves you. She was hoping to be here today. I can't, as mayor, one of the duties I have is to hire and promote police officers. Now, I can't guarantee you a position in the police department, but what I can, in the next 3 years, we'll have a turnover. People are going to be retired. And should you choose to go into the police academy or want to, consider us.
Of course.
I think we'd love to have you, but again, like I said, I can't make a promise to you on that.
Understand.
Background checks and
Yeah.
police academy and a lot of stuff that you're gonna have to go
Yeah.
through. But we'd love to have you. But anyway, I have something here that I want to present to you. This is in recognition for your unwavering determination and inspiration that you have shown in overcoming personal adversaries and challenges. You have evolved into a commendable individual and exemplified a positive influence, which is an inspiration to many people in Vernon Township. So this is certificate for you of recognition. Now, someone else in your life, you said saved your life?
Yes.
This gentleman?
Just recording, yeah. Go ahead.
Mr. Guy Gordon is I don't want to say therapist because he in the book says he's not a
He
therapist,
likes to be called personal trainer.
personal trainer.
Personal trainer.
And you met Jack,
When he was about 9 years old.
yeah, and Jack was, hated the world and like most kids that age, but and was gonna probably cause problems maybe, right?
No, yes,
You were
yeah,
gonna be a
cause
pain.
problems.
And this gentleman shows up. And you wanna, if you could, just tell me a little about maybe your interaction with him. I know he got you to start running, right? And that's something.
Yeah, so I definitely learned that you gotta be comfortable with being uncomfortable. Cause the first day I met him, it was pouring rain. I was like, you know what, we're just gonna stay inside. We're probably just gonna talk. Nope, we laced our shoes up and we went running in the pouring rain. We ran at Maple Grange in 100 degrees. Completely humid. Whatever I didn't want to do, we did. And that's what got me here today is that if you can't do what you want to do when you're uncomfortable, you're never gonna get anything done. And Guy Gordon really showed me that was possible. So he changed everything for me.
Appreciate that. And I run an agency called Back on Track, and it's about fitness and mentoring and motivating kids. And I met Jack Edward when he was approximately 9 years old. And before I get into some memorable moments with him, I want to fast track to last month. Me and my wife, that's Lori over there in the corral suit. You look great, by the way, babe. Our daughter runs for Ramapo. And we were at TCNJ and I saw Jack Edward there wearing his Stockton University track equipment. And we hugged. And Jack Edward doesn't know this, but when we hugged, I had tears in my eyes because to see where he came from and to be a college athlete, as well as all as he has accomplished, is absolutely amazing. Memorable moment for me and Jack Edward was we went to Maple Grange Park and he alluded to it. It was brutal out, 90 degrees, 95% humidity. And we were already sweating when we left the car. And I looked at Jack and I said, come on, we're going to run a little bit. And unlike 99% of the kids that I work with who would say, no, Jack went with me. And we started off slowly and we started talking. And he started talking about, what's going on in his life. And the more he spoke, the faster the pace got. And by the end, we were sprinting. And we did 3 miles that day. And the one picture that I'll always remember about Jack Edward is we got into the car and we are both sweating our butts off. And my car still smells of Jack Edward's sweat. But I turned the air conditioning on full blast. And I saw Jack Edward, his head back in my front seat with his eyes closed. And I thought to myself, he's at a good place right now. And this kid is going to do amazing things, which he has done in the future. The one thing I will tell Jack, because I've known him for a long time, I've known him through high school, he puts a lot of pressure on himself each and every race. And he'll sometimes.
It's in his book. He beats himself up.
Yes, he beats himself up. But the message I'm giving Jack is, Lori and I are both marathon runners, or we were. You've had good races, you'll have bad races, but you've won the biggest race. And the race you've won is the race of life. Okay, that is the biggest race you'll ever go against. So anytime you're upset about a race, think about your real victory.
Of course.
Jack, I see a lot of teens. I bring his book with me to every teen I see. And yes, I tell them it's on Amazon. But the message of the book is awesome. So Jack Edwards' legacy is so great and it's going to carry on forever. And just real proud of you, buddy.
Thank you. Your biggest opponent. In Vernon Township, we have a certificate of recognition. I'm serving Morris, Sussex, and Warren counties. Guy Gordon has been counseling, guiding, and motivating children undergoing the host of varying adversities through fitness. The agency has helped hundreds respond with exercise as a physical and mental outlet, improving their lives to realize their full potential. So
Thank you very much.
congratulations. Thank you. Thank you.
One thing I would like to say, by the way, I want to congratulate the Schmidt family. Because they set the foundation out there for Jack, Edward, and Olivia to, find out what their full potential is. You guys did amazing.
Yes, they did. Yes, they. One little quote out of this book, and this is the one that broke and I hope I don't tear here. I just want to, real quick, it's, for a moment, I hesitated, unsure if the smile on my face, this is now when he was being adopted at the court. For a moment, I hesitated, unsure if the smile on my face would falter. But then I caught my sister's eye and felt the warmth of my new parents beside me. The judge's voice continued, but it became a blur as the reality of the moment set in. We were no longer foster kids waiting for a family. We are Schmicks. That got me. I have one more thing. Friends of mine, at Mineral Sports Club wanted me to, read this letter to you. Dear Jack Edward Schmidt, on behalf of the entire team at Mineral Sports Club, it is with great pride and admiration that we extend our heartfelt congratulations to you. Your journey, marked by resilience, determination, and an unwavering commitment to personal growth, is truly inspiring. Overcoming life's most difficult challenges and emerging with the most powerful message of coaching and lifestyle transformation is no small feat. Publishing a book is a remarkable achievement, and we celebrate not just the pages you have written, but the story you've lived. As a token of our admiration and to honor your accomplishments, we are pleased to offer you a one-year membership to the Mineral Sports Club. So you can continue at the gym. This was, they wanted to give you something. And once again, congratulations. Your strength and dedication serve as a powerful reminder of what's possible because through perseverance and purpose. We look forward to being part of your continued path toward wellness and inspiration. Warm regards, Jack Coolidge. And I also, Sheriff Aubrey and Robbie Youngins, who is the gentleman that I speak with. He's the Chief Operating Officer at Minerals Resort. And this is a one-year membership to the gym, so you can continue your training. Because again, he's so focused on running and still on the track. And so while you're home, you'll be home for a little bit.
Yes.
You continue on with that training. So
Thank you very
please
much.
stop by the membership desk, let them know who you are. They are waiting and wanting to meet with you.
Of
So
course, thank you.
congratulations again.
Thank you again.
Thank you very much.
Hey,
Thank you very much. Thank you.
I appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Please. Sir.
Congratulations.
Thank you. May we have comments from the mayor, please?
About a week and a half ago, the beautification committee and I, we were out there, as you could see, all the new planting in the new planters we have on 515 and 94. I just want to say thank you to all the ladies and gentlemen who helped out in that. We still have a lot more project areas we're looking to accomplish. Last week, I was at the mayor's conference in Atlantic City. I got to meet with many other mayors and collaborate ideas and issues. We had a New Jersey's governor candidate forum. From the Republican side, Senator Brennick, Jack Ciarelli, Bill Spadia, And there was one, and from the Democrat side, there was only Steve Sweeney. One of the big issues on the topic was affordable housing mandate, and also the bail reform, which was another one. I don't know if you guys have seen that, the construction over here on the corner. We have now started our water expansion project, which is gonna feed the new 55 unit building. And hopefully it's gonna ultimately loop around back to Church Street. Because there are some more development. Last week, 2 weeks ago, I sat on the land use board. And the One Key or Red Hand, I think they have a different LLC, but anyway, it's the same company, One Key. They submitted plans, well, it was a presentation of the 27 unit building, which if you look at the back of the municipal building where the dirt mound is, that's where the 27 unit building is gonna go. That's just gonna be regular apartments. It's not gonna be age restricted. So that was an introduction to that. Also on the land use board, Sussex Cultivation came for a TCO, so they can begin growing cannabis. I know there's people who are on different sides of the cannabis, but 18 months waiting for the DEP was a bit long. And I was happy to kind of push the DEP a little bit further so we can get the applications done. Corey reviewed everything with the land use board and the TCO was approved so they could start growing. Because again, they're spending tens and tens of thousands of dollars sitting there just waiting for this to be done. This is going to be a huge moneymaker for the township. So hopefully that kicks off. We already started seeing some good money from the manufacturing portion of that. Also, I met with 2 days ago, I met with Corey and the developer of the 55 unit building. We were there on site doing a progress review just to make sure that they are still on target for the end of August, September for a grand opening. So far, everything is looking good. The quality of work is spectacular. It really is quality work that these guys are doing over there. And that's the feedback I'm getting for our building inspectors. So I'll take my word for it. So also, a few weeks ago, I met with Brian Lynch, Chief Young, and Kevin Duffy to discuss the First Responders Memorial, the design, and a copy. I have a copy of the rendering. Try to put it out there. We have to look to see if we're gonna have to go out to bid for it, unfortunately. We do have money that was given to us. Well, we have money that was donated for one cause and then for the band shell. And since that didn't take off, when I contacted the people who donated the money, I asked them if they would donate to our First Responders Memorial, and they couldn't have been happier to do that. And that's Mountain Creek, Joe Hessian, Great Gorge, Jeff Hoffman, and Andy Mulvihill, Crystal Springs. Their donations will go to the building of this First Responders Memorial, which is as soon as you come out the door, right to your far left, there's a bench right there, but there's a planter. So I will get this on social media. It's going to be a pondless water feature. So that there'll be a water fountain, but it'll go below the surface and it'll recirculate back. It won't be a pond, so we don't have to worry about fishing kids out of the ponds and all that other stuff. So this is a little design of what each members of the emergency service teams, they've loved it. I wanted their input. They're the ones who put their lives on the line every day. And it was very important to me that they're the ones who come up with the design. So I have it here. So hopefully we'll get that done in a couple of months once we figure out how and who's going to do it. But another thing, let me see. On Sunday, May 25th, myself and the Vernon Police Department's Union PBA 285 held a car wash to help support the Senior Olympics. A total of $1,000 was collected. So thank you to everybody who helped wash cars. and the people who brought their cars and donated the money. So that was from what I understand, it was the biggest turnout. So thank you for that. And for anyone who knows me, knows that I have the greatest respect for our military servicemen and women. And with that being said, I want to read something that I would like to sign today. And this is a statement of support for the Guard and Reserve, Township of Vernon. We recognize the Guard and Reserve are essential to the strength of our nation and well-being of our communities. In the highest American tradition, the patriotic men and women of the Guard and Reserve serve voluntarily in an honorable and vital profession. They train to respond to their community and their country at time of need. They deserve the support of every segment of our society. If these volunteer forces are to continue to serve our nation, increased public understanding is required of the essential role of the Guard and Reserve in preserving our national security. Therefore, we join other employers in pledging that we fully recognize, honor, and comply with the Uniformed Service Employment and Reemployment Rights Act, USERRA. We will provide our managers and supervisors with the tools they need to effectively manage those employees who serve in the Guard and Reserve. We appreciate the values, leadership, and unique skills service members bring to the workforce and will encourage opportunities to employ guardsmen, reservists, transitioning service members, and veterans. We will continue to recognize and support our country's service members and their families in peace, in crisis, and in war. So without further ado, I'd like to sign that, and there'll be a copy of it hanging up in the lobby at some point. Last Monday was Memorial Day. And despite it being a sad day for our country, the weather was beautiful. And to add to that beauty was those hometown hero banners. Those banners actually, I was very proud to see them, but seeing them, especially in the parade, really, it took my breath away for a moment, and happy to see that happen and see, it seems like we're honoring our men and women of our service, and the parade was just another added piece to that. So thank you again to Michelle Matrin and Tina Kraus for running with that project and getting that done. I believe we have another almost 20 applications that's going to be for banners. I think we're maybe running out of polls. I don't know. We'll worry about that when the time comes. I want to thank everyone who participated in the parade. Organizations, the VFW, which was the leaders in it. This was, I don't want to say it was their parade, but it was their let's just call it the way it is. Other members, the Chamber of Commerce, Girl Scouts, Boy Scouts, Ziegler Dance, Vernon Valley Karate, Vernon Township High School Marching Band, Vernon Township Little League Baseball, and to all of our first responders, our fire department, EMS. Thank you again for everything, for participating in everything that you do. Yesterday I was at the county commissioners meeting, and one of the objectives I discussed with Director Carney was to, and as this is getting pushed across the county, is to designate a parking spot at our municipal building and other public areas for our Gold Star families. Being that we are the largest municipality in Sussex County, we shall lead that by example and get that done as soon as possible. So again, it can never repay the loss of a family member, but it's just to recognize the sacrifice, and again, and just recognition for the people who are still suffering for that today. One of the things I'd like to do, and I talked to Jimmy Roberto, who is a Marine, and Craig Digger. I'd like to redevelop that entire Veterans Park. It's the DPW does a great job cleaning it up and doing the best they could. But we're gonna work on, and I could probably get all that done with donations as well. And we can clean that up, add some new things to it, make it a place where veterans and people can come and reflect on the sacrifices the people in our armed forces have done. And that's all I have. That's all the comments I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. May I have a motion to open the floor for public comment?
Move.
Moved by Mr. Di Benedetto. May I have a second?
Second.
Seconded by Mr. Higgins. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Floor is open to the public on issues that are on the agenda. Time limit of 3 minutes. Christine. Anyone has any comments they'd like to make regarding an issue on the agenda, please step forward and give us your name and make your comments.
Can you speak up a little louder, please?
Certainly.
Thank you.
You're the first person that said I didn't speak loud enough, but I'll do that. As I said, you have 3 minutes for an agenda item only. Anyone wishing to come forward? Or there,
There's.
His copy is right up front, right
there.
Oh, they can speak. We know why they're here.
Ladies and gentlemen, I understand a lot of people are here for support for Jane. That is on the agenda, so you can come forward, speak on that if you'd like. You can come up to the microphone right here and just state your name.
Rodinger, usually do not come up to here because I don't find anything interesting. But this woman brought me in here only because of his comments.
Excuse me, are the microphones on? We can't hear you back here. I'm sorry.
I'm
Just
supposed
speak
to
into the, speak into the mic.
Microphones are on.
Do that.
To that, please.
Can you hear me? The microphone is not on. How about now?
There you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You repeat your name, I'm sorry.
Jenny Rodinger. I usually do not come here, but because of Jane, I did come. And I'm responding to a very uncivilized comment from William Higgins from last week comments about her being just a server for snacks. I understand you might not know what Jane does or not pay attention for the past few years, or actually more than a decade. The rest of us do. We see her every day, what she does, and it's not just snacks. She is taking care of the seniors every day, coming here on weekends to decorate the spaces for the holidays, doing the Senior Olympics, organizing, preparing everything, buying food, and being involved with all the different activities, getting awards from you guys for what she does. So please, look in your histories and check out what exactly she does, because we see it. She's universally loved by everyone. The only one who seems to be having a problem with you. So look in the mirror and ask yourself, why do you not want the one universally loved person to be in that union? Why would you think that she's only here to serve snacks? I've been with Jane for many years, even though you guys don't know anything about it. She was the one before the beautification committee was established, decorating outside of their offices, creating planters, creating sitting area for the seniors. That was before all of this happened. COVID time, she made sure the seniors were not hungry, that there was a food delivery. For those who could not come and pick up food, she arranged deliveries. Did you know about that? Do you know that she calls people when they're sick to double check that there's somebody there that helping them, that they're not gonna fall down, or if somebody did fall down, following up, did you get to the hospital? Are you feeling better? That she actually goes and visits some of them. No, of course you don't. You're ignorant. We're not. We see what you're not seeing. She is one of the best people we have in town. And for you to say that she's here to serve snacks? What were you thinking? All of these people are benefiting from her every single day. She welcomes them. She makes sure they have everything they need. She contacts social services if they need to. It's a lot more than serving snacks. Look at everything she does. There's history. And I believe Michelle has all the records because Jane works for Michelle. You ask her what exactly she does. How much money she spends out of her own pocket to benefit the downtown.
Thank you.
Sorry. Thank you for your time.
I will. Now pushing to address the council.
I will.
Please come forward.
I have a mouth and I'm gonna use it. If it wasn't for change.
Excuse me, come over here. Right
Come up
over here.
here.
Yes, can you give us
You
your
have to state
name?
your name.
Can you give us your,
Name is Susanna Waddell.
sorry?
Susanna Waddell,
We're done. Okay, thank you.
okay? If it wasn't for Jane introducing me to the senior center, she made me comfortable, introduced me to people that I didn't know. And with Jane, with her backing, introducing me to people that I become very friendly with, and I'm thankful for what Jane has done for me and what she has done for everybody else. And Jane deserves whatever she wants to get. And I believe everybody here is behind me and for Jane. And I thank you.
This one, here.
Greetings, my name is Kathy Zayas. I've been a resident of Vernon, New Jersey for 38 years now. And I happen to be, at this point, president of the Vernon Senior Advisory Board. This town is great for kids. Got a lot of them, got a lot of activities. We have a PAL, we have a rec department that does fabulous jobs. We also have a lot of people who are aging in place today. And they're aging in place here in Vernon because we have a senior center that supports them. That's because we have Jane. If we had just an ordinary senior center, maybe open 2 days a week, we get to play cards, something. You do not know the depth and breadth of what she does. Jenny spoke a little bit about it. I can only say that I'm overwhelmed many times of how much she does behind the scenes. You can't imagine. I'm sure each one of you has a job and you probably don't go home after 9 to 5. You probably do something at 6, maybe at 8. That's what she does. And she gives a sense of belonging to each person who walks in that door. If a child brings a grown adult child brings their parent in and says, hey, she takes them around, shows them, introduces, gives them a list of what's available for them. She's always there for us. And to belittle anything that she does is mind-boggling. It's just beyond. And I just hope that you will see that you do the right thing for her. Because basically, we need to always remember to do the right thing.
Thank you.
Well,
Anyone else wishing to come forward? Seeing no one else wishing to come forward, may I have a motion to close the floor to the public?
Moved.
Moved by Mr. Sparta. Is there a second? Excuse me.
No, I, one more thing to vote, yeah.
Good evening.
Good evening.
My name is Nick Science. That was my wife that just came up here. So, okay, I'm going to go along those same lines. I have been impressed with Jane's devotion and competency and professionalism to handling the responsibilities that she has been given or that she has taken upon herself. Now, you don't know me from Adam. I will tell you that I have also been up here for 38 years. When I was the chief of the Passaic Fire Department, I ran 120 people with a $10 million budget. That woman is an excellent administrator, someone who gets a job done and does it with humanity. This is something that, let's say, politics is not much in favor of very recently, the humanity factor. All right, because we have people that have different needs and are hesitant. You know, a lot of people are afraid of getting older. She makes that a little bit easier. Jane makes that a little bit easier. And the township makes it a little bit easier by having the senior center. Then I see the mayor come through with a bunch of guys that play pool Tuesdays and Thursdays. And we see the mayor come through and he always stops and say hello. And he asks, you know, how's it going and most of that smoothness of the operation of the senior center is due to Jane's leadership. So I would really ask you to consider the fact that she be given the consideration, the respect, and probably we could say the remuneration that she richly deserves for the job she does. Thank you, gentlemen.
You remember I moved that. Breaks my chops every time I'm through there.
Excuse me. Is there anyone else wishing to come forward?
Can I ask a question?
No, this is
Public comment.
Well, if I make a question, may I?
Have to come up.
Come to the front.
come up to the dais.
She already.
Oh, you already?
Come up.
Does any of you members know exactly what Jane does for the senior people? Have you been to the meetings? Have you been to the parties? Have you seen what she does to the seniors, how she helps the seniors? I don't think so. Otherwise, we wouldn't be up here right now.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Anyone else wishing to come forward?
How are you?
I thank you.
I'm Lori from the flower shop up here in Vernon. My mom moved in with me at 90 and I was her caregiver. And I had no idea there was a senior center. So one day I happened to bring her down here at 90 and I met Jane. I had no idea what happens down here. I see things going on and she's getting a great lunch and she's making friends and she's being progressive and she's got a reason. My mom had a reason for 6 years. She died at 96. And her main reason for life was this senior center. And these people and Jane, they made her welcome. They gave her a reason to live. And she had a wonderful 6 years at the Vernon Senior Center every single day, right down to the bus ride. And it's all because of how Jane made her feel welcome. And to go beyond that, I have the flower shop and Jane does all the decorating for all the events, these beautiful parties, the dances, everything that these people do to keep them young and youthful and give them purpose. And I asked Jane, can we come and set up all these flowers that you want to buy on your dime? I say, you guys, we make the most out of nothing, and she makes beautiful things. I said, I'll go and I'll deliver. She said, no, I want to do it. And we all know Jane does it her way. It's got to be perfect. She's there. She's the first one there and the last one out. She's cavalry. She's got it all figured out. She spends more time than anyone else in this town on these seniors that are so deserving. And she's incredible. That's from my heart. And I'm indebted to her, and I'm forever grateful. Thank you, Jane. Eleanor Campbell. I didn't want to come down to the senior center. I didn't feel like I was old enough yet. Well, last summer, I had a tragedy when I came home from a month's vacation and my freezer had melted. And I found out, well, I knew before about the wonderful lunches down here. So I started coming. And I want to tell you, everything that everyone said here is true. I can only read what they've said. But I have found such a wonderful, wonderful feeling of warmth and love. And Jane has a smile every day, no matter what happens, no matter what might go wrong. She always has a smile for us and makes us feel welcome and worthwhile. And she deserves what she's asking for. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes,
Hi. My name is Paul Marsh. I've been up here for 12 years, had a long career on Wall Street. I started coming to the senior center maybe 5 years ago. I just turned 70. I don't feel like I'm 70. I've joined minerals. I play golf and tennis. My kids grew up here. Well, they came here on the weekends to go skiing in Vernon, so I feel very close to this area. To the point about Jane is that I don't have to come to the senior center. I can go to the Warwick Country Club or other places for lunch. But there is a real warmth in those blue eyes that people look at every single day. She reminds me of who was the character in It's Wonderful Life, who changes the lives of so many people. That's who the person is. And so irrespective of the issues here, I'll continue to go. Just a wonderful person. So whatever you can do to help would be great. Thank you.
thank you.
My name is Frank Macaron. I'm a union man. I had been a union man for many, many years. And in the old days, you couldn't get a job unless you joined the union. And I'm ashamed to say I didn't know what this was all about until it was explained to me that you're refusing to let her in the union. Since when? In my day, they used to grab men by the hair and join the union. Now you're refusing to let someone join the union? That doesn't seem fair to me. It doesn't seem right to me. Maybe I'm not too bright. It could be. But that to me is unheard of, that you can't join a union. What are they for? Aren't they here for that particular reason? And from what little bit I've read about this, refusing a person to join the union is contrary to your well-being. I mean, I can't think of the words, I lost them. That's unfair. It's an unfair labor practice. Do you want to get involved in that? Do you want this to go all over, not only in Vernon, but the rest of the townships will understand and see all this. I don't think you people want that. I don't think what all of this is even necessary. It's a waste of time and it's a waste of money and it's a waste of good talent. If she wasn't here, where would she be? Or where would we be? I'm not gonna extol her praises. You know all that. I told you that last week and you even admitted it. It would do something right for a change. You say you want to protect the people of Vernon. Protect them by not bringing about a lawsuit that is possible. I don't know. I don't understand it. Maybe I'm not bright enough, but this sounds ridiculous to me.
Anyone else wishing to come forward? Yes.
Hello, everyone. I just want to tell a funny story.
Me, please.
I'm sorry, Gloria Fredo. Janie is so and so, she has to be so perfect at everything she does that on about 2 weeks before St. Patty's Day, she goes to Acme and she talks to the butcher. She tells him, I need 100 corned beefs, I'm sorry. I need 100 corned beefs, and what's the price gonna be? And then they start having it back and forth. And then when she's got a good price, then she orders them. And she takes 100 corned beefs, takes them home, and she cooks them in her house for the people to have on St. Patty's Day. They have it here, so she goes my poor husband, who's right there. She goes into everything that she's doing, decorating, making napkin bowls and all that. And then he has to cook, he or she cook them, and then he has to slice them. And then the potatoes go in, and then the sauerkraut. And they do that the day before St. Patty's Day. And I just think that that's a very generous thing to do. She spends the entire day and halfway into the night, just so she can put them in the mornings. So if you're Irish, you should go and try it.
Thank you. Anyone else wishing to speak? Not, may I have a motion to close the meeting to public?
Second.
Seconded by, motion made by Mr. Sparta, seconded by Mrs. De Benedetto. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Carries. Moving on. We have the bills list in front of us. Anybody has any questions on the bills? I hope the mayor is ready to respond. Mrs. Bright and Mrs. Carson are not here tonight. They are otherwise engaged. Want to have any comment?
I'm good.
Good.
I'm good.
Okay. All members of the council have received copies of the minutes of our executive session on 12th. May I have a motion? Place those minutes on the floor for consideration. Moved by Mr. Sparta. Is there a second? Second. Second by Mr. Higgins. Are there any questions or deletions or additions on the minutes? Hearing none, may I have a roll call, please?
Councilmember De Benedetto,
Abstain.
Councilmember Higgins.
Yes.
Councilmember Sparta.
Yes.
Council President Rizzuto.
Yes,
Motion carries.
thank you. All members of the council have received copies of the minutes of our regular meeting of May 12th. May I have those motions that's placed on the floor for consideration? Moved. Moved by Mr. Sparta. Is there a second? Seconded by Mr. Higgins. Roll call. I'm sorry, any comments? Hearing none, may I have a roll call, please?
Councilmember Di Benedetto,
Abstain.
Councilmember Higgins.
Yes.
Member Sparta.
Yes.
Council President Rizzuto.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Consent agenda. Members of the council all have copies of the consent agenda. If there are any items that you wish to have separated, please let me know and we'll do so. Resolution 25-146, authorizing issuance of estimated tax bills. Resolution 25-147, resolution of the town, Vernon Township, New Jersey, Department of Community Affairs, LEAP, implementation of the grant resolution FY 25. Resolution 25-148, resolution authorizing the use of GovDeals auction services through Sourcewell National Cooperative, number 111424-I. Resolution 25-149. Resolution overpayment, block C 34158 Morris. Resolution 5-150, refund for totally disabled veteran, block 526, lot 346, Colmone. Resolution 25-151, refund for totally disabled veteran, block 458, lot 53 on Essen. Resolution 25-152, refund for totally disabled veteran, block 153, lot 6, Core Logic. Resolution 25-153, refund for totally disabled veteran, block 153, lot 6, Logic. Resolution 25-154, a resolution for approving a solicitor's permit, Trinity Solar LLC. And resolution 25-155, resolution of the Township of Vernon, County of Sussex, State of New Jersey, authorizing the execution of a memorandum of understanding between the Vernon Township Police Department and the Atlantic Health System Newton Medical Center to establish joint behavior in the Arrive Together program to enhance and support response to certain behavioral health crisis calls. Does anyone wish to have any of these separated? No? Okay, may I have a roll call, please?
I need a motion.
I'm sorry, may I have a motion to place these on the floor? I apologize. Moved by Mr. Sparta. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Mr. Higgins. Roll call vote.
Councilmember Di Benedetto.
Yes.
Councilmember Higgins.
Yes.
Councilmember Sparta.
Yes.
Council President Rizzuto.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Resolution number 125-156, a sidebar agreement between the Township of Vernon and the UAW Local 2326. This particular sidebar agreement resolution was proposed at the previous meeting. Additional information was supplied based upon requests. Hence, it was brought up under a different format, so it is being introduced as a new issue voted on. May I have a motion to place this on the floor for consideration?
Moved.
moved by Mr. Sparta. Is there a second?
Second,
Seconded by Mr. Higgins. Are there any questions or comments on this?
yes, I've obviously been the target of a lot of comments, rightfully so. Everybody here has a right. All the comments except for that one gentleman, the union guy, were all about Jane Dampster's character, which I agree is extraordinarily excellent. All the things you spoke about, nobody can disagree with. Unfortunately, that's not the issue here. The issue is the written job description, the hours that they're supposed to be spent, and the funding of that position. The emotional strategy or the emotional facts are that she's a great person and everybody benefits from that. It really comes down to some facts and figures that haven't been discussed other than the gentleman about the union. So let's review again that I never said anything about she just gives out sandwiches. That's not what I said. And whoever told me tonight that that's what I said, that's wrong. So I do understand, and I do understand the heartfelt gratitude you have and the extra work that she does. Whenever a person does extra work, and they're an employee, that's fine. That means they're exemplary employee outside of their normal accepted activities. And a lot of the time, that's the person's character, not because they're earning extra money on it. So Mrs. Dempster's been in this position for 8, 9 years. And what occurred last September was the UAW contract was voted on and agreed. And that UAW contract, there was a premise when it was presented to the council by the mayor, the business administrator, and our CFO, who negotiated the contract, that we're going to change this contract, and there's different levels when a person enters employment, and then rise to level 1, 2, 3, 4, and they're hourly people. Remember, these are hourly people. They're not managers. They're not department heads. They all are paid on the hourly basis. And there's a job description. So that contract was presented in executive session to the council, and it was September, the first week in September, and it wasn't due to be enacted until January 1st. And at that meeting, I said, hey, this is great. Thank you for the information. What's the premise for making these increases to the union? And the premise was that we can't attract new people because we don't pay enough, and we can't retain people because they leave for other towns. Well, after the fact, I put a resolution up that night saying, we have 3 months to discuss the details of this union contract. And my resolution was, let's put it off. Let's give a couple of weeks until the next meeting. We can ask questions. We can look into it. I didn't get a second. So the rest of the members of the council voted to accept the contract, in my eyes, 3 months prematurely, because it didn't take effect until January 1st. And the fact of the matter is, after I did some research, I asked some questions. So how many openings do we have? Well, we can't attract people. You know what the answer was? None. How many people do we lose to other towns? I don't know. Well, those were the two premises you built the union contract on. Those are the types of things that should have been investigated, and I was not given the time. So now let's go forward to January, and Mr. Dempster, who was not in the union, by joining the union, is actually taking, I don't know if she knew it, but she's taking advantage of that elimination of those steps and getting a 25% raise. So that's what triggered my thought. I'm saying, what's going on here? And we had another incident on another town employee on a different issue that was similar, trying to take advantage of a little glitch in an agreement that we had, and we stopped it. So that was what I was talking about. I agree with everybody here how nice of a person she is and everybody getting things. And you just went on to describe many of the things that she does are outside of the definition of her job duties. She goes over and above. And so I'm looking at the recreation department here, and it appears to me that a lot of these things are under the auspices of the recreation department. So is this an employee who should have split responsibilities? Does the recreation department care to say we need another part-time person and split the duties? I haven't heard that.
but I can sure tell you that those duties that everybody came up here and rightfully congratulated her on were not within the confines of her job description, which is a county paid position. They pay us $27,000 to use our facility, to actually use their funding. They prepare the food, they bring the food over, and it's a nutrition program. So they want to use our facilities, which they pay us $27,000 to do, and part of that goes to pay for Mrs. Amstra. And then the rest of it is township money. So I want everybody to understand, this is not about her, me. I'm a senior myself. I get it. I understand everything. And it's the gentleman who spoke about the union. You're the one that's really on the subject of what this is all about. And right now, Mrs. Dempster's caught in that web, and I just want to straighten it out because there's too many facts and figures that are flying around, not on your part. I'd love to hear all the stories about how good a person she is. It's about this side of the table, and we're up here voting on multiple resolutions, ordinances. It's rare that we get a full description of what we're voting on. And you have to be somewhat of a detective to look into some of these things to find out what the real facts and figures. So I guess I'm saying, yeah, I'm making a stand just to try to improve the process, the governing process that we practice there on a every meetings basis. And I'm sure it's going to be resolved. And the recreation department and the mayor have to get involved here. And if some of these features and some of these performances and some of these duties are outside of that site manager's job, then the recreation department has to say, yes, we want to ask for a budget to add her to that. You add the two dollar amounts together, and she might get what she does deserve. So it's on our side because it really doesn't fall within the confines of the description of what her job duties are as site manager. That's the premise I'm working on. I'm sorry if I hurt your feelings, but I'm going to still vote that I want a resolution from this town to define how she's going to perform her duties under what budget. That's where I'm at. Thank you.
Mr. Higgins.
Excuse me? Meeting is closed to the public. Oh, I'm sorry, were you speaking?
Yes, I was.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought it was open to the public. Yes, Mayor.
Higgins, first off, you said you have to be a detective to find out information. You sent the emails. We discussed about the steps. We could just understand that this job description is first off, it's a county job description. However, there's another whole side of what Jane does on top of the site manager. That's just an add-on to what she does. This is not just her sole responsibility. The bottom line is that we have an employee here who is not a department head. She's not a confidential aide. Therefore, she has that right to go into the union, and it's going to cost us a lot of money in litigation. Should this have to go that route? And it is my recommendation as mayor. I see what goes on here. I see all the duties that she does besides the nutrition manager role. She does a hell of a lot more besides that. It is my recommendation that we end this. Let her have her right to go into the union, like 95% of the other employees. You're gonna have to justify why you feel she can't go in there. And take the advice of our attorney, the administration. We provided this all to you. It's gonna cost, and the layout of the potentials. And it's your responsibility as a councilman is to protect.
I don't need you to tell me my responsibility, but what I'm saying is, Mr. Damstra, everybody in the union is an hourly employee. And are you willing to say how many hours you perform your duties under the job description you have? You may get a decrease in salary because the job description is a site manager. On paper, that'd be maybe a 4-hour-a-day job. And all the extra things that you do out of your heart are not going to be compensated. because it's an hourly thing. You're not a manager.
He's a full-time employee. $40,000 a year in like 12 years? It's ridiculous. Come on, Bill.
Excuse me. Thank you. Sorry. Anyone else wishing to comment?
Jesse, you want?
Jesse?
As for the department head, I'm here to answer any questions for the confusion or not.
Yeah, maybe you could shed some light on.
Well, if they want.
Would you like to hear?
Try to count.
Yeah, very well. Come on up.
Give us your name and the department, please.
Michelle Valentine, Director of Recreation.
Thank you.
But if you have questions, I can answer.
Yes, you heard many people rightfully describe all the extra things that Mrs. Hampshire does.
Right,
And many of those things are outside the written description of a site manager and nutritionist.
right.
And they're things from the heart that typically would fall under the recreation department.
That's
So, so did she interface with you? Are you,
absolutely.
okay.
Her department head manager, and she works for the recreation department. In a budget, it is separated between recreation and senior center, so it is delineated exactly how much we're spending where, so you as a council and the public will be able to see that. But when Jane became a full-time employee, she took on extra duties specifically for the recreation department. Her title has to remain the title it is to satisfy the shared service contract with the nutrition site. That is just one little snippet of the job as a full-time employee.
So the full-time employee is for two departments.
Correct. Just as.
Because the first time this has been brought to anybody's attention.
Right, which is why I.
Now that my point's being proven that now there's something to talk about. This is a person with this dual responsibility.
Right, which is why I said, if you need any clarification, I'm here and I can clarify it for you.
Good. I would need a clarification. Probably, I'm not going to get it here tonight, but I would enjoy it. I would like a meeting. I would like to have it described to me. And then if it's satisfactory to me on the way you're going to handle this internally, then I would support the raise. But not with lack of information.
Employees in my department are shared between recreation and the senior center. Self, Meg, Jane, Jessica, Mary Ann, Priscilla, Nancy, everybody pitches in for wherever it's needed. It all falls under the recreation department, but in the budget, the senior center is separated out so that it can be specifically seen what is spent where.
I know you're not because you're a department head. Are the others union?
They're part-time.
Part-time, okay.
Jane is the only full-time person.
Refresh my memory as to, in the budget, what is allocated to the senior center? Money-wise?
I don't have it in front of me. I couldn't tell you exactly. I mean, if you're talking.
And that senior center allocation is not just for the nutrition, it is other things.
Yeah, right. So we have a senior center and we have a nutrition site. Our senior center hosts a nutrition site, but our senior center operates above and beyond that nutrition site. There's times where the nutrition site is closed. Our senior center is still open and operating.
Right, and there's separate funding for each.
Correct.
Right.
Shared service with the county funds the nutrition site.
Those are,
Everything else funds everything else that we do in the senior center.
so those are the key points, the funding and all the rest.
Correct.
I'd be welcome to have a further discussion and meet with anybody and bring this to a
Absolutely.
resolution.
Whatever the mayor
Probably won't be tonight, but
avails,
it can happen.
I can describe that in detail, every activity, every program, everything that needs to go into it, it does. And which department it benefits, but at the end of the day, it all benefits the recreation department because the senior center operates under the recreation department. And Jane is a full-time employee.
Thank you. You have any questions?
Jesse.
Yeah, I just have some comments, not for you. You can. Okay.
Dismissed.
Yeah. Thank you for coming.
Welcome, thank you.
Okay, so. This was never about Yeah, was she served with a rice notice? Cause I'm gonna be the only one to get in trouble.
She asked for it.
Okay. I always get in trouble when I do things other people do. Okay, so this was never a question about her merit. I've never seen so many people show up in support of one person. She's obviously an amazing person, a wonderful woman, and loved. Where I'm coming from as a council member, every time I want a change in the town to cut costs, to lower our tax base for those of us who are feeling the burden of taxes, I work very hard. I'm a full-time employed single mom. It's the taxes in this town are outrageous, and this is where I am coming from. I would support a merit-based raise for Jane, which she obviously deserves. She's doing much more than a $40,000 a year job. I do not like unions because every time I come with a question of, can we do this differently to save the taxpayers money? What about this person? What if we change this? It's always, well, because of union rules and regulations, we can't. So that's where I'm coming from. The union ties our hands, and now that same union that I constantly fight against for the taxpayer is asking me to expand it. I'm sorry, it's nothing against Mrs. Damstra. She's obviously a wonderful person. I would support a merit-based raise, absolutely, outside of the union. And again, after a meeting with Michelle, I also agree that something can, I'm sure, be worked out. But
If it goes into litigation.
Excuse me, please.
I'm just, in,
Something.
yeah, a couple of things, that I would like to ask and see if I can get answers to. Last time this was brought up, I brought up about, going to the county to see if they would pony up some more, money, and I was told at that point in time that the amount of money in that shared service agreement was $27,000 and change, I believe, hasn't been reviewed or asked for in a number of years. So I know the mayor or somebody in his administration has talked to the county, and what was the update on that, Mayor?
They are aware, and they've agreed to have a conversation about it. So they're not gonna promise us anything, obviously, because budget times and things like that, but that's one of the promises I'll make to you, that we will, when it comes time to renew the shared service agreement with the county, we will bring to the table the need for more money.
Now, pre-COVID is my understanding that the county used to provide staff for this as well. Is that accurate?
No,
Not accurate.
We occasionally get different individuals through separate county programs that are offered employment through those different programs. That's completely not connected to the shared service agreement. That makes sense.
But that's not, it is not involved with the nutrition program?
They come through these other programs to have a job, and we currently do have one person through that program. And we do not pay their salaries. The different programs that they are connected with pay their salaries.
Is that still happening now?
One,
Okay.
yeah.
All right. The other concern I have, and it has really nothing to do with this situation, but has to do with the resolution. And this was discussed at the last meeting also. The resolution that is brought forth now, which is 25-156, is exactly the same as 25-113. And Mr. King, I had a little discussion with him before, and I by no means am a lawyer, but I still don't understand how the exact same resolution can be brought up at a different meeting, because if a motion is defeated, if a resolution is defeated, and 2 meetings later, there's 2 people that voted no to that, a person on the defeated side then could bring up the same resolution and get it passed. There's an issue with that.
Am I correct?
So it's a new meeting.
A new meeting, there's a new agenda.
There was new information.
But a motion could be made from the floor or from the dais.
Well, only if the council votes. So the council president
Puts forward an agenda. That agenda is what's presented. The council has the right, if they wanted to amend that, as long as they have a majority.
So if the majority of the council said, we don't want that resolution on, or we want to add another resolution, you could do that by a vote. You could amend.
The agenda. But a resolution is not an ordinance. A resolution is a writing of
The council's, objectives of what they want to do.
it's temporary in time. Ordinances are more permanent.
Ordinances are different and
There's a whole different procedure with publication. Ordinance is just a codification of the council's direction and or agreement of contract.
The issue also is the fact that there was information requested at the previous meeting that was supplied at this meeting. And that became part of the basis for placing it on the agenda for reconsideration. It's up to the council if they want to. Now, at this point, I would suggest with the opportunity at hand for to table this.
That's what I was.
Yeah, I was-
So I was.
And take advantage of the opportunity to meet with department head.
Yeah, I'll make a motion to table until Mr. Higgins is able to have his conversation with Ms. Downtain and whoever else.
Can we meet with the county as well?
Once there's a motion to table discussion.
So I'll second that motion.
By the way, just as a point of information, the information I was given was that the county, the issue on increasing the amount of money being requested would be.
They might not be able to hear you with your microphone.
That would be made and taken place at the next budget hearing in the county. Okay, nothing would be done for this current year.
Right, but
There-
at least if we could,
There is a motion to table on the
floor.
floor.
It takes
in this
precedence,
discussion.
and yes, I'll call for a
Second.
They have a roll call vote, please.
Councilmember Di Benedetto?
yes.
Councilmember Higgins?
Yes.
Councilmember Sparta?
Yes.
Council President Rizzuto?
Yes,
Motion carries. Table.
thank you. Moving on,
Do they understand?
introduction of ordinance 25-08, an ordinance, the Township of Vernon, County of Sussex, State of New Jersey, amending Chapter 94 of the Code of Township of Vernon regarding the police division. May I have a motion to introduce this ordinance?
Motion.
Motion made by Mr. Sparta. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor? I'm sorry, may I have a roll call vote? However, before we vote on this, I would like to make sure, ask the mayor, that this particular ordinance and the hearing on this be given a little extra effort in terms of making sure that personnel involved are at the next meeting.
Council President, I spoke to Chief Young and he will be at the next.
You'll be at the next meeting. Okay, thank you.
Thanks.
Roll call.
Member Di Benedetto?
Yes.
Councilmember Higgins?
Yes.
Sparta?
Yes.
Council President Rizzuto?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Ordinance 25-06, a bond ordinance appropriating $3,492,000 and authorizing the issuance of $2,550,000 in bonds or notes of the Township of Vernon for various improvements or purposes authorized to be undertaken by the Township of Vernon in the County of Sussex, New Jersey. May I have this in the form of I'm sorry, may I have a motion?
Motion, please.
Motion made by Mr. Sparta. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Mr. Higgins. Again, I'm asking the mayor have the That's the
We have to,
Chief Financial Officer, thank you.
Yeah, this is,
we have to open
This
this.
is the second reading?
yes, we have to open.
Okay. All right. Are there any, okay, may I have a motion to open this to the public? Moved by Mr. Higgins, is there a second?
That was-
Misty Benedetto.
I'm sorry, Misty Benedetto. Sorry,
I'll second.
seconded by. Are there any comments from the public on this particular issue? Particular ordinance?
I'm sorry, this is, public comment.
On the ordinance.
Oh,
On the ordinance.
Sorry.
That's all right. I didn't think you wanted to speak about it.
Hearing none, may I have a motion to close the public?
Second.
Moved by Mr. Higgins.
No.
Mr. Benedetto, gotta come up with a. Oh, there you go. Seconded by Mr. Spartan. May I have a motion to place this on the floor for consideration?
Move.
Moved by Mr. Sparta. Second. Seconded by Mr. Higgins. There we go.
Let me,
Does anybody have any comments or questions on this ordinance?
Yes,
Okay, please.
there's first comment is this ordinance, and I compared it with the ordinance that we just approved as a first reading by the ordinance 2508, which was for the police department and the extra sergeant and all the rest. And whoever wrote the ordinance for the police, I'd like to congratulate them. It was the best written ordinance. It answered questions before I was asking the question just from reading it. And it described all the various scenarios that could take place, where funding was coming from, how it was going to happen, what was really going to happen, and the rationale behind it. It was my goal to have that type of vote on just about every ordinance that we have. This, to me, is the model to go after. Now, I'm comparing that to ordinance 2506, and there's a lot of dollars in there, $3.492 million. And, $1,090,000 of it is for the fire truck. And then the 2.5 million for other items that are identified. And, there's a laundry list of equipment, no real numbers beside each particular one, but they're grouped. And for example, in the first grouping, improvements or purposes, and it lists lawnmowers and stands and blowers and trailers. So all of this money was introduced the meeting after we approved the budget. So is this is all capital money? Is it part of the budget? Is it in addition to the budget? What's the definition of this ordinance?
Mayor, are you able to resolve anything?
I'm trying to understand your question. Is it part of the overall, I mean, obviously it's part of the overall budget.
The budget that was already approved, or would this money be in addition?
Correct.
This is in the budget.
This is just the capital, bear with me here. And this is the bond ordinance, right, appropriating this money, that I believe was part of the original budget that was approved. This is just separated out, because of the bond. I would say that was all included in that, if I read this correctly. So these are questions I would have asked prior, so we can get all the exact answers for you. So
Yeah, there's a cost to the bond. I don't know if the cost of the bond is in the budget or the cost of the bond, which is like $700,000. $728,000 is going to be an additional cost over and above the budget. That's really what it comes down to. And that's question number one. That's probably a reason to have the CFO here. And then going through the individual parts and pieces, there's many, many items listed, as I said, lawnmowers and sand blowers. And there's a compacting dumpster. Is that for this, the hope for improved garbage collection program in town, or I don't know. There's no description of what these things are.
Yeah, that is part of the, we have one compactor. As you know, we started managing our own garbage. This would be a secondary, for two reasons. One, it acts as, redundancy, right? In case one was to break down, but also they would also, serve, for capacity, when we start the garbage, collection. So these, like I said, these will actually pay for themselves in the first year and a half, 2 years. So yes, it is part of that project, but it was something that we were gonna do anyway. That was part of the 1.8 that I removed off the original capital budget plan, was one of these compactors. But now that we've now taken our own garbage, that it's best that we have two of these. They've already, the concrete's already been, most of it's already been, like all the prep work, the electric, the concrete, that's already been done. That was part of last year's. So now it's just a question of just purchasing this compactor and putting it in place, and we could start.
Have we determined how we're going to pay?
Yes.
How are we going to pay for the garbage? I mean, do we know what the charges will be? Do we know who's going to be handling money, or have we found a way, which I would prefer, to have nobody out there handling cash, but to have it prepaid in some fashion?
We will, everything goes through, and we're gonna lay out exactly the cost, every single thing, employee, truck insurance, everything will be fully outlined. We're still tweaking a little bit of it, but for the most part, we have most of it narrowed down. And this was the work between myself, Howie and Danelle, Tina, and actually Mindy helped us because the program will go through one of our pieces of software, SDL. So we do work it out, those details, but the cost, this will pay for itself and then some.
I understand the desire to afford the residents of the community the opportunity to participate in this program. But my concern is that we have other programs, such as our commitment to SCUMA, which I am questioning as to see whether or not involving ourselves like this will in any way endanger our position with SCUMA.
No.
I know this for a fact.
Yes, I know this for a fact. We have spoken with SCUMA. It doesn't matter, garbage is going to them, whether it's Vernon Township or private trucking. I did work with the DEP to make sure. I have a confirmed statement from them. We went through an entire process of whether or not this was a transfer station, which is not, this is not a quote transfer station. Transfer station would open up another whole can of worms. The DEP had a bunch of concerns about how the garbage was stored and about kind of leakage. Provide all the information on the compactor, which is a sealed unit. The DEP was very satisfied with everything that we have and what we're putting in place. And they basically just came back and said, just people who are transporting garbage have a driver's license. I mean, it's we did go back and forth with a bunch of questions and they did confirm that where our trucks already have the DEP stamp on them, so we can haul this type of garbage. We've gotten the thumbs up. We got the okay to go ahead and forward. There are other municipalities that, I don't know if in Sussex County, but there are some, and we've talked to some of the people who manage the SDL software who helped us with other municipalities that do it and how they do it. So we kind of mirror how their systems, and this is something that, again, like, I will bring up cost analysis on how this is all being paid. Like I said, this also includes an employee. And when you ran the numbers, then I'll ran the numbers, it more than enough pays for itself. So to me, this is just, it's a win-win for everybody. A lot of people they're struggling out there, and I did a poll on some of the garbage, and people are paying between like $160 to over $200 a quarter. So I can tell you right now, it's going to be a fraction of that to bring your garbage here. We'll have all those rules in place, what you can bring, what you can't bring, how much you can bring, what you can't bring, and what those costs will be, and how we're going to manage that as well. I can't say right out of the gate it's going to be perfect. Nothing ever is, but we'll work through any kind of kinks that we run into. But for the most part, financially, it will pay for itself and then some. So I'm very proud of the work that went into it so far, and I look forward to presenting that to the council, and I think you will see that this is it's a great service to, that's one of the things you guys will campaign, we all heard, we pay all these taxes and we don't get garbage. Now, I understand I can't get a garbage truck up to the house, but this is the best I could do for what I have. I could offer some kind of relief to the taxpayers, and they will save some money, and it would not be a burden on the taxpayers. It will pay for itself more than enough, so.
Would it be a burden on the administration in any way if we were to defer this ordinance to our next meeting so that the CFO can be here and resolve any concerns regarding costs, and also providing some other opportunities to address some concerns regarding these issues?
Were you just talking about the garbage?
Yeah, well,
I think the problem is when you push this off, it puts an issue with, especially with our road construction. I think that would cause some serious issue. And like I said, guys, if this was something, if there was some issues here, this stuff should have been communicated to our office so we could have answered anything that you have. I think delaying this any further, it's gonna create issues. Like I said,
Have conversations at meetings anymore. That's silly.
sorry?
I don't know why we can't have conversations at meetings anymore and ask questions. It's frustrating.
Well, you want to, go ahead.
No, we have to get them in 24 hours before the meeting, so.
No, I mean, you can answer. Maybe he'll know the answer. Ask him. Maybe he'll know the answer.
No, I'm just making the point because I know there are folks here to support this ordinance because of the fire truck, right? And that's obvious. Sorry?
I think the second one is the fire truck.
That, no, that's it.
Same one.
All part of the same. Maybe we should separate that out.
You said, well, the problem is,
It's already a second.
Yeah, that's right, you're
second,
right.
but besides that, when you're working with bond counsel on this, the larger the size of the bond, the better the rates you get. So,
Okay.
The township does better
Okay.
by being able to split this up rather than just putting them all together. I don't know if you have any questions, members of. Howard was here, yeah. You have additional questions, I'm sure you'd be happy to answer.
Yeah, I'd have a difficult time voting for this ordinance as is without having answers to these questions. Unfortunately, it might hold up other things. We're talking about a couple of weeks. We're not talking about a couple of years. And, there are other things in here. For example, there was some talk at the end of the budget season that there was money left over and a pickleball court was a possibility and there was leftover grant money. I don't know if grant money is still available. Can that be used in this resolution or is a pickleball court being planned? Those are questions that, how can you vote? I come from a business background and I would not present something like this to my boss at a board meeting without the details. And I look at it and say, how can I vote for it?
That 408,000 was already bonded out and it's only for that area. And it cannot be, and Danelle answered that question last time.
Can't hear you.
Use that money
Yes,
It's gotta be specific to the bonds.
it's very specific to the bonds, which have nothing to do with any of the stuff here. Completely separate. Like I said, it's already been allocated. It's, you can't use it for anything else. Like I said, Danelle answered that question the last time, on that money for those. And again, these are ideas, but pickleball was one of them that we got a lot of people talking about. And it's one of the things that we can use the money for. The money's been sitting in this account for years, doing nothing. The road, it's a swimming pool in that road. You can, like you said, you could lose a station wagon in the potholes going down to the pump track. The walking trail, like I said, and I made fun of the last administration about paving the walking trail. But when I have the DPW guys come and speaking of that, they spend a lot of money and time prepping and fixing this walking path. You know, this walking path wasn't my idea. And unfortunately, I'm left to fix the problem. And this money it will be used for that as well. It's 408,000. So we can that area. We have a bunch of senior building coming in over here. We have a ton of development. Let's stop putting amenities that, there's a lot of people that want it. It's not just, it's not just one-sided, fortunately. Like I said, the money's there. We're not, and it's already been allocated for it, which is why I came up with the idea of doing that in the first place.
Anyone have any further questions?
No, unless you're gonna move it to the next,
Oh, that's why I asked.
yeah.
But
It won't be the next meeting.
Huh?
It would have to be the meeting after that for advertising purposes, because I'd have to re-advertise this.
even though there's no change?
Yeah, because the public hearing was
You
tonight.
opened it, yeah.
Yeah, I'd have to re-advertise it.
Is there anything else on here?
Essentially, we would lose a month.
We have one meeting in June, correct?
We have 2 meetings in June, but if it gets adopted, then there's a 20-day stop period.
And by that time, to start the road construction,
It would be on for, again, on 23rd
Of July?
of June.
June, I'm sorry. We're losing almost a full month prime.
is there anything else on here that you guys have a question about what we're purchasing?
You wanna remove the dumpster for this time and amend it?
Yeah.
Or do it, then I can't vote for it with it.
The dumpster.
There's no program. You have to present a program. If you put something in there about a garbage, and it's not off your cuff, Mayor. You gotta put it in writing, you gotta give us details. This
All right,
this is not how to run a government.
like I said, we've already canceled our garbage. The numbers are there, they don't lie. Just the fact that we canceled our garbage contract, or we didn't renew it, that alone pays for this stuff. This is not a ton of money we're talking about for a garbage company. We'll hold this up. We're gonna hold back on ordering. Budget. We're not gonna get, I don't know about the road schedule, how that's gonna seriously impact starting our roads and getting that done. For a garbage compactor?
So this could have been put on the agenda in February for all that matters, but now it's our fault for holding it up because you put it on in May.
This is questions you could have asked a long time ago.
Well, you never had, what do you mean you could have asked? This was the first time we're seeing the ordinance. Huh? And it's your job.
You had all week, you had this.
It's your job to put the details together, present it professionally, and I don't have that information to vote on it.
This agenda for a week. And now we're talking about it. Why didn't you ask these questions? Why are we doing this here now? We could have, and you could have went here and explained to everybody and educated everybody on what these things were. But now here we are. Let's put a show on for everybody.
It's a show.
Let's stop having our garbage, right? Because here I am, we're trying to provide a service.
The CFO
Gonna come to a stop.
the show, because she should be here.
Exactly.
And if you don't know the answer, she does, and she should be here. Pretty,
You had this for a week.
it's pretty simple.
No, it is simple. You had this for a week. You should have asked those questions. And here we are. Now we're gonna throw it on for another month. Come on.
I had a question to Chief Koch, when you made your presentation, just for a point of, because it's part of the bond issue. Your statement was that for the $1,090,000, that included an anticipated cost increase of 3% per quarter, and it was going to take up to 4 years to get the fire truck, right? So my question is easy. That 3% times 4 quarters a year, single compound interest is 12%, times 4 years is 48%. Now, the $1,090,000, is that assuming there's a 48% increase and it's really a $600,000 vehicle that's gonna cost us $1,090,000? I just need a little more explanation of what you said. I made some notes when you.
I specifically asked that question of Mr. Koch. And if it's ordered now, the price is given to us now, and it's held for the amount of time when it's manufactured. So by ordering it now, there is no price increases. What his comment was, if we wait, it's gonna go up 3% the next quarter, and then 3% the quarter after that, and then 3% the quarter after that. So if we were to wait, then we're gonna be spending another 3% on top of that money.
Okay, so it's from the time we order, not till we get it.
Correct.
Okay, is that correct?
That's correct, and the price that we have that did not put in the budget was only good till June 1.
Great, I just need that clarification. I was hoping that we didn't get a 48% increase in 4 years from now. Yeah.
No, that number is the truck will cost when it's delivered.
Okay, thanks, Brent.
That satisfy everybody's concern?
Yes.
I want to point out that if this ordinance fails, we then have to modify it or represent it and go through the same waiting period, which will definitely have a negative impact on certain areas of road construction and things like that, simply by shortening it. So
Mr. Koch just said it's gonna cost us $30,000 more if we wait past June 1st. So if my number's correct.
All right.
3% of $1 million is 30,000.
Okay, so let's move the question. Can we have a roll call, please?
Yes. And this is to approve this.
Approve the bond.
Councilmember Di Benedetto?
Yes.
Councilmember Higgins?
No.
Councilmember Sparta?
Yes.
Council President Rizzuto?
Yes,
Motion carries.
thank you. Ordinance 25. There, 07, capital ordinance. Ordinance providing for the various improvements by the Township of Vernon, the County of Sussex, New Jersey, appropriating therefore the sum of $265,000 and providing such sum so appropriated shall be raised from capital improvement fund of the township. Can I have a motion to open this ordinance to the floor? Moved by Mr. Sparta. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Mrs. De Benedetto. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. The ordinance is open to the floor for public comment. Anyone wishing to come up and make comment on this particular issue, please do so. Hearing none, I ask for a motion to close the floor to the public.
Moved.
Moved by Mrs. De Benedetto. Is there a second? Second. Seconded by Mr. Higgins. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, motion carries. May I have a motion to place ordinance 25-07 on the floor for consideration by the council?
Moved.
Moved by Mr. Sparta. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Mrs. De Benedetto. Anyone wishing to comment on this? Adoption? The items in question are listed in the opening of the ordinance. If not, may I have a roll call, please?
Councilmember De Benedetto,
Yes.
Councilmember Higgins,
Yes.
Councilmember Sparta,
Yes.
Council President Rizzuto.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Ordinance 25. I'm sorry, that's it. May I have a motion to open the floor for public comment on any issue? Moved. Moved by Mr. Sparta. Is there a
Second.
seconded by Mr. Higgins? In favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. The floor is open to the public for 5 minutes on any issue.
Good evening, Jane Damstra. I'm not up here to give you a list of my attributes or this and that. I am up here as a full-time township employee in a position that qualifies to be union membership. My question to you is, as I asked at the last meeting, why am I being singled out and not allowed to join the union when 95% of my colleagues were able to exercise that right? I don't think it's fair. And some people spoke about taking stances and such. That's only a detriment to me and my rights. And I would hate to, and at one point at the last meeting, not to single you out, Mr. Higgins, but you had stated when I asked a question that that could be answered in litigation. I would hate to have to litigate against a township that I have lived in for 40 years, raised my children in, and love. And you guys are leaving me no recourse but to litigate. And I would really like an answer to the question, why am I not allowed to join the union? But I also want to say, when I started working full-time for the township 5 years ago, the business manager at the time was asked if I should be a union member, and his response was, nah, she doesn't have to be in the union. So it has just come to my attention that I am in fact eligible to be a union member. And I would like an answer why I am not allowed to exercise that right.
If I could just, I can't answer that, but what the council did is they've carried this. And I think a number of the council people are just looking for certain information, and hopefully that information is provided. And I think they made a commitment, if it's satisfactory to them, that this issue should be resolved where that resolution gets passed at the next meeting. That's what the council has done. So they're asking for more information that hopefully this is resolved.
And have you explained to the council the ramifications if I do choose to litigate?
Yeah.
I would hate to have that happen.
Yeah.
But it's not.
So again, the action that the council took today was they carried the motion. So they carried the resolution until they get that information. And then once they get that information and it's acceptable, then they'll vote on it. So you don't have to do anything until that time.
But sir,
And if you want.
this has gone on meeting after meeting after meeting. And I'm still in the same spot I was when the resolution was brought up the first time. And Mr. Sparta, you had questioned more money from the county. But being able to join a union, being able to exercise my right has nothing to do with money from the county.
May I respond?
Sure.
It has nothing to do with you. Okay, and I tried to keep you out of this, okay? For me, it's more of a function of us doing our due diligence and getting the money that we're deserved through the proper channels, okay, to offset some of that stuff.
Okay, I understand that,
Now-
but
Yep.
again, I ask, what does that have with my right to do with my right to join the union? That's the part I'm not getting. I understand you'd like more money from the county. I understand you have different issues, but I need you guys to understand I have a right to join the union. And I would hate to have to see this go any further because you were denying me that right. And that's really all I have to say. And thank you for your time.
Yes. Have any comments? Please come up to the podium. Give us your name, please.
My name is Susanna Waddell. I was working for a union years ago. You paid to work and be in a union. So the employer didn't have to pay for the persons that got into the union because we ourselves paid for it. So why isn't the president of the union here to help negotiate what's going on between Jane and the town?
My question exactly.
President
Does
of,
the union president know that there's a controversy, that you're denying a person to join their organization? Years ago, the union would come and beg people to join the union. Now you're refusing a person.
never contacted, yet the meeting is open to the public. So if there was an opportunity for the union president or whoever, the business manager,
Well, who is the union for this town?
UAW.
United Auto Works, UAW.
United Auto? You know the president's name?
No.
Why?
Why would I? I'm
I'm not part of the union.
not part of the union.
All right, so if you're not part of the union, why are you denying
Ma'am, this,
somebody to be accepted into the union?
Not a back council.
She's an employee. She's
I think,
a time employee.
I think we've answered your question. I'm trying to, these sessions are not, as our attorney said, a back and forth. I've gone about as far as I can. Each council member has their own reason for enjoying their
Is
position.
there a way where I can get the phone number of the union and the union president?
Sorry, you'll have to ask somebody else outside the council.
Okay, thank you.
Is there anyone else wishing to address the council? Seeing no one wishing to come forward, I ask for a motion to close the floor to the public.
Moved.
I'm sorry. Moved by Mrs. Di Benedetto. Is there a second? Second by Mr. Higgins. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Council comments. Mr. Higgins.
I think we covered a lot tonight and we all spoke. I'm satisfied.
Thank you. Mrs. Di Benedetto.
I had comments, but I can't find them. I'll save them for another time.
Next week, okay.
Thanks. You got some,
It's a whole page.
I know, it's more too.
I just want to thank the VFW for putting together the Memorial Day Parade on Monday. I think it was nice that all 5 council members and the mayor could be together, and we started off walking together, but then the mayor got waylaid by some people, I guess, and we lost him along the way. So, but it was a great day, beautiful weather. It was great to see Church Street lined with people, and down by Place by the Tracks lined with people also, and all the involvement of the organizations and responders marching in the parade also. Going back, about 6 weeks or so, I made a comment about, legends. And, I would just like to know when I can expect the resolution on the agenda for legends.
Resolution on the agenda right now is being, I spoke with the attorney, preparing it.
Okay.
In the meantime, there was an issue regarding the liquor license, and the liquor license was presented in terms of ownership. And the judge gave the current owner 30 days because the potential, Mr. Everhart told the judge that his funding would be available within 30 days. So again, this puts another, it solidifies our position in terms of affording an opportunity and giving him every chance to work to present
So
this.
that 30 days is up like in a couple days, isn't it?
No, I think
We have a meeting tomorrow.
we have a meeting tomorrow on that.
Yes.
Is it the 30th day?
No.
No.
We have another, I think, week.
Another week.
I thought he met the day after our April meeting. Was a court appearance, no?
I think it was.
I think 30 days is up.
No, I
No,
think we're.
because it was, had it right after our last meeting.
Was it the May meeting?
I think it's next week.
Oh, you're right. I'm sorry. You're right. It was 2 weeks ago.
So
Yep.
moving on to that.
Yep.
This would give them
Okay.
that time.
Okay.
All right.
Yep. That's all I have. Thank you.
Okay. Tomorrow, there is an opportunity for the public to take place and come to the Great Gorge Golf Resort. The One Club program that is being initiated is going to have a ribbon cutting tomorrow at 11 a.m. And it's for people who want to play golf, say they want to play golf, they can't really play golf, so they do it on the basis of one club. And that's it. The whole course that's been laid out is you handle it with one club. So you save on caddy fees, I guess, that's it. So I'm looking forward to being there to enjoy the ribbon cutting, and I'm sure the mayor will be there. And anybody else who wants to come and take part in that. As far as other comments, I too took part in the parade. However, because of my decrepit state, I chose to ride in a yellow Corvette. So I think that's really more of it than my state. And maybe the next time we can get a float, or we can all ride on a float, or ride in convertibles. But let's see what happens. But it was a great opportunity to wave and see the public out there. I was really impressed, and saw a lot of old friends, and received a lot of accolades. So and of course, we remembered our people who passed, and I don't know if I wish members of the public had stayed, but this is a very, very touching public holiday for me. I come from a town named Midland Park, which in 1969, I believe, we reached 8 members of that township who lost their life in combat. There was no other township saw that percentage of loss. And with that percentage of loss of its sons, Midland Park appealed to the president, and the members of that township were spared from that point on. So, and this was also a very touching and moving day for me, because again, it was the second Memorial Day that my good friend John McGowan, who was in serious combat, had passed, and I had spent the previous weekend with his sister and his relatives that were able to attend at the at the cemetery in Sparta as his cremains were interred. So it's a very moving time, and I thank those who were here on behalf of the veterans and for those lost in combat for their support. Thank you. And that completes my comment. May I have a motion to adjourn? Moved. Moved by Mr. Higgins. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Mrs. Benedetto. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. And carries. Oh.
Nothing easy, right?
No, nothing is ever easy.
Yeah, just for a sec.
Yep, drop that in the email.